Rebuilding your life begins with destruction. You cannot construct something new on the rotting foundation of the old. The first level is acceptance. You must admit the structure you once lived in collapsed, or worse, was never real to begin with. Denial keeps people living among rubble, convincing themselves broken walls are still shelter. Acceptance strips away lies and forces you to face the ashes. This is painful, but without it, no brick can be laid. The man who accepts truth over illusion has already begun rebuilding because he has chosen clarity over delusion. The second level is detachment. Once you accept your world has collapsed, you must detach from the old identity that lived there. The version of you who made those choices, built those habits, tolerated those relationships, cannot come with you. Detachment means mourning the death of who you were while preparing to meet who you will become. This is where most retreat because detachment feels like emptiness. But emptiness is space. Space is possibility. Until you detach, you will always rebuild the same ruin. The third level is discipline. Rebuilding is not glamorous. It does not feel like inspiration. It feels like routine. You wake, you work, you focus, you repeat. Discipline is the cement that binds every brick you lay. Without it, the walls will collapse again. Discipline does not ask how you feel. It demands consistency regardless of your mood. This is where you begin proving to yourself that you are not who you used to be. Every act of discipline is a declaration of rebirth. Without discipline, rebuilding remains an idea. With it, the idea becomes structure. The fourth level is sacrifice. You cannot bring the dead weight of your old life into the new foundation. Sacrifice means burning bridges, ending habits, abandoning comforts that once defined you. This is not punishment, it is purification. Every sacrifice is space for construction. Most resist here, clinging to the ashes while claiming they want new fire. But you cannot carry both. Rebuilding demands you trade distraction for focus, indulgence for discipline, comfort for clarity. Those unwilling to sacrifice remain forever trapped between collapse and creation. The fifth level is vision. Now that you have cleared space, built discipline, and embraced sacrifice, you must decide what future you are constructing. Vision is the blueprint. Without it, you are only stacking bricks with no direction. Vision demands silence, deep thought, and ruthless honesty. What kind of life do you want to live? What standard will you refuse to compromise on? What legacy will you leave when you are gone? Without vision, rebuilding creates another cage. With vision, rebuilding creates an empire. The sixth level is endurance. Vision excites you in the beginning, but time will strip that excitement away. You will work for months or years without recognition. You will question if the pain is worth it. This is where endurance enters. Endurance is the ability to move without applause, to continue without proof, to suffer without surrender. Endurance is what separates those who rebuild temporarily from those who rebuild permanently. The man who endures long enough to see results becomes unshakable because he knows he can survive storms. The seventh level is sovereignty. After surviving collapse, after detachment, discipline, sacrifice, vision, and endurance, you arrive at a place where no external force can control you. Sovereignty is the final crown of rebuilding. You are no longer dependent on others to define you. You are no longer at the mercy of moods, gossip, or chaos. You live by your own standards, guided by your own blueprint, protected by the fortress you built with your own hands. This is the level where you stop chasing approval and start commanding respect. Rebuilding is not for the impatient. It is not for those who want quick comfort. It is for those who are willing to endure the slow, grinding process of laying one brick at a time until the structure rises. Each level will test you, strip you, and force you to face yourself. Most will retreat because they cannot handle the silence or the sacrifice. But for those who continue, the reward is not just a rebuilt life, it is a reborn self. The collapse you suffered was not the end. It was the beginning. It forced you to wake up, to face what was fragile, to burn what was fake. It handed you the opportunity to reconstruct not just your life, but your identity. Collapse is the universe tearing down what you outgrew. Rebuilding is your answer. Do not waste the collapse. Do not remain in the ashes. Build again, this time with clarity and force. The 7 levels of rebuilding your life are not optional. They are essential. Acceptance, detachment, sacrifice, vision, endurance, and sovereignty. Together they form the staircase from ruin to empire. Each step demands blood, sweat, and honesty. But when you rise as someone who cannot be broken the same way again. Collapse was the test. Rebuilding is the proof. And sovereignty is the crown that proves you passed. The most dangerous man is the one without direction. When you do not have a plan, the world does not leave you in freedom. It leaves you in chains disguised as choice. From the moment you were born, society has been writing a script for you. Get good grades, attend university, work a job, pay your debts, retire just before your body collapses. That script is not designed to make you sovereign. It is designed to make you obedient. And if you do not design your own plan, you will follow theirs by default. That is the gravity of the world. Without resistance, you fall into their orbit. Look around and you will see proof. Millions wake up each morning not to build their own vision, but to sustain someone else's. They punch clocks in jobs they hate. They repeat routines they never designed. They trade hours of their life for the survival society told them was success. They complain about it, yet never break it. Why? Because without their own plan, they have no alternative. And a man with no alternative accepts the one handed to him, even if it is suffocating. That is how control spreads. It requires no chains, only your silence. Society thrives on your passivity. It does not want you to question. It does not want you to ask whether the path you are walking is yours. It rewards compliance with comfort. It tells you that obedience is stability. It gives you enough entertainment, enough distraction, enough convenience to keep you too numb to rebel. If you do not write your own plan, you will spend your life fueling the plans of corporations, governments, and systems that never cared about your personal greatness. Your life will not be yours. It will be a product of their blueprint. The schools were the first conditioning. You were taught not to think independently, but to memorize and repeat. Creativity was punished. Obedience was rewarded. That was not education, that was programming. The purpose was not to build visionaries, but to produce workers. By the time you graduate, you have been softened into dependency. If you did not create your own plan before entering that machine, the machine created one for you. Most never escape it, because they never question it. They confuse the script with truth. Your emotions have also been engineered. Advertisements, entertainment, and culture shape what you desire before you are old enough to choose for yourself. You believe you want certain things, but in reality, those desires were injected into you by repetition and manipulation. This is how society keeps you buying, consuming, and distracted. When you do not have a plan, you do not filter these influences. You absorb them until you are living for values that are not your own. And by the time you realize it, decades are gone. A man without a plan is always a servant to someone else's. Freedom is not given, it is built. And it is built through intentional design of your own path. Without a personal plan, you will never see where your energy leaks, where your time is stolen, where your vision dies. You will trade your entire life in exchange for comfort you never needed. Your plan is the shield against this theft. It is the declaration that you will not be shaped by systems, but by your own standards. It is proof that you will not live in autopilot while pretending to be free. The man with a plan cannot be controlled the same way. He knows where he is going, so distractions lose power. He knows what matters, so manipulation cannot blind him. He knows what to reject because his standards are clear. This is why society fears the man with a plan, because he cannot be easily placed into their machinery. He is not dependent on them for meaning. He has designed his own. That sovereignty is the most dangerous form of rebellion. The tragedy is that most will never see this. They will live their entire lives inside a script designed for them, mistaking it for choice. They will call survival success, debt responsibility, and conformity maturity. They will mock those who break the script because rebellion exposes their own chains. But the ones who choose differently, who create a personal plan and act on it relentlessly, are the ones who rise beyond the machinery. They build lives unrecognizable to the average, and because of that, they are remembered. This is not about rejecting society completely. It is about refusing to be consumed by it. You can operate within the world without being owned by it. The difference lies in intention. If you walk without a plan, you are prey. If you walk with a plan, you are predator. The systems remain, but you no longer serve them, you use them. This shift is only possible when you carve your own path, when you decide your own definition of success and sacrifice. If you do not have a plan, you will be assigned one and you will accept it. That is not freedom. That is slavery in disguise. Society has been planning your life for decades, and unless you interrupt it with your own design, you will die living someone else's story. The plan you create is not just a map. It is a weapon. Wield it or be consumed by theirs. The choice is not between control and freedom. The choice is between your control or theirs.